Hey guys, having bad weather, so I figured I'd do some video on the tech. So we've been getting a lot of questions about the tech stack of Glue, and so I kind of wanted to go through a few of those. So first off, Glue is built on Substrate. Substrate is a technology developed by Polkadot, and it's open source, and we kind of selected it as, we think, one of the best technologies in the space, especially for a use case. And so let me give a quick explanation as to why. So first off, there's the layer 1. It is purely in charge of security in Glue. So the idea is that if you disconnect the layer 1 from the execution environment, which lives on the layer 2, you end up with a much faster layer 1. And because of that, our layer 1 does not have smart contracts. So all the L1 can do is you can transfer tokens from account to account on L1, but just the native token, and you can stake, which then helps with validate transactions. So that's really the only thing that the L1 does. And the beauty of that is because, for example, in Ethereum, the L1 obviously has smart contracts. It has a whole slew of things it really does, and it slows it down. It has to do a lot more things whenever a block gets finalized. It has to validate a lot more things. It has to run smart contracts, all of that stuff, where that's just not the case in Glue. And so how it does work for us is that all the execution, smart contracts, etc., will live on various layer 2s. And the layer 2s they basically produce the block and then send it to the layer 1 for validation, making sure it's a secure block, that all the transactions match, that there's really no funny business. So that's the layer 1's job, is to get blocks from the layer 2 and make sure they're true, they're right, that you had the tokens, that there's no attacks, nothing like that. So that's the whole idea. And the layer 2 will be smart contract enabled. And one of the major benefits, if you divorce the layer 1 from the layer 2, is that security lives on L1, but censorship resistance lives on L2. And what that means is that the number of sequencers you need can be varied, right? So for example, a finance L2 would need many sequencers, right? You don't want to get your money stuck. And so if it's being censored, for example, even on Ethereum, I think 60% roughly of validators currently censor OFAC transactions. And so that means you just have to wait till one of the other 40% produces a block, and hopefully you get included in that. And so it's the same concept on Glue, except that we have multiple layer 2s. And the benefit of that is that L2 that does finance might have a lot of sequencers to make it very censorship resistant. But for example, a gaming L2 might have only 3, 5, 10, right? What that means is you can make the sequencers very beefy. They're still fully run, or the security is still fully assured by the layer 1. So you don't have a problem where suddenly you have a security issue. If there's 10 sequencers and all 10 start to censor you, then you will be stuck. But if it's, for example, a game, that's probably quite a lot less important than if all your money is there, right? And obviously, less sequencers means a much faster chain. And so one of the beautiful things about Substrate is that the censorship resistance lives on L2, while security lives on L1. And the combination of that makes it a way more scalable approach. And it's going to be a lot more specialized as well. And I'll talk about that in the next video.